Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. สวัสดีครับ It is my great honor and pleasure to speak in this forum with a lot of knowledgeable people, both local and international. I was asked by the Thai government to look into the application of bioeconomy in the area of energy, materials, and chemicals. And I accept the invitation because the concept of bio, circular and green, or BCG, which was introduced by Dr. Suvit Mesinsi when he was the minister of the long name ministry, Mahesi in short, is very convincing for the sustainable development and sustainable future of the agricultural based country like Thailand and also our colleagues in ASEAN. So I've asked few of my colleagues, both from private and from the governmental sector, to formulate the initiatives to support the application of bioenergy, biomaterial and biochemicals in Thailand. And so I'm very pleased to share with you some of our thinking, and hopefully at the end we will receive some recommendation and some collaboration. So let me start off with the concept, which is producing common or aligned benefits among the ASEAN members, because most of our population are farmers. So when we start to look into the bio-based economy, it will help the majority of the people of ASEAN. It will help create additional value for the agricultural products, improve energy security. Most of the nations in ASEAN are importing fossil fuel or petroleum, with the exception of maybe a few countries. And so by applying the bio-based energy, it would help us to reduce the importation reliance on energy. It will also create a lot of initiatives to create jobs in all of our members. And on top of that, I think I'm speaking to experts here, but we also looking at the reducing impact on the environment. We're looking at the creating the sustainable environment, creating sustainable energy for the community, more self-reliance in terms of using the agricultural products domestically produced for both energy and materials, and as well as chemical. So this will be possible through the application of research and innovation, because we know that the challenge of the bio-based economy is to find a way, the technology and the innovation to make it work and make it a value addition rather than a subsidized industry. And these are the aspiration of the ASEAN members in terms of promoting the renewable energy and set it as a target to be achieved in 2025 or 2030, 5 to 10 years from now. Most of the countries in ASEAN are blessed with the natural resource in hydro energy, solar power, wind power, and bioenergy to a certain extent. And I think we're looking at roughly 25 to 30% contribution of renewable energy and bioenergy into the total portfolio. The approach are quite common, and I'm just raising example of what we're thinking in Thailand. So it used to be comparative, meaning we are trying to find a way to make the bio-based economy comparable with the fossil-based or petroleum-based. But we probably need to enhance that approach a little bit into the competitive advantage rather than comparative. meaning that we have to build the value, we have to create the value out of the bioeconomy. There are a few steps here that are being taken, and I would elaborate more in the later slides. But I think the concept of having this agricultural-based industry, promoting the green energy industry, starting the biorefinery as a commodity base and expand it into the specialty biorefinery industry would be the way to create a potential impact. And in this case for Thailand, within 5 years, we're looking at the value addition of agricultural products, an increase in the GDP of Thailand in the order of 0.15 trillion baht, increasing the community income in the order of 10,000 million baht per year, reduce the pollution such as the PM 2.5, which has been the issue in major cities in Thailand, and also reducing the emission of CO2 into the atmosphere in the order of 30 million tons of CO2 per year. Reduce the importation of oil and gas, crude oil, natural gas, and also the products in the order of 0.17 trillion baht per year, and reduce the waste disposal that would cost us 15 billion baht per year. So those are the sizable impact on Thailand if we can proceed with this initiative successfully, and has a potential to increase even more after 5 years. So the next one sort of summarize the 5 initiatives area that we have formed together with my colleagues and will be proposing to the government for the implementation. We believe that the key driver in pushing the bioeconomy to work in Thailand, or maybe in other developing country, I would say that, is that the change of concept from pricing the energy, pricing the material, or pricing the chemicals from the cost plus basis. At the moment, it's still on that basis. We have not taken into consideration the cost of managing the use of energy, the use of material, and the use of chemicals after the production. And that's why it's very challenging for the bio-based industry to compete on a fair basis with the fossil base. So the concept is to promote the bio-based products through market mechanism. No need for subsidy, but we need to look into the life cycle cost concept rather than the manufacturing cost concept. And that is the reason for our first initiative, which we call in short Bio-Based Energy, Material and Chemicals, BEMC, in our committee. So BEMC 1, the one in the center, is focusing on the application of carbon pricing, carbon credit, green tax, carbon sink, that sort of project, which would allow the bio-based, the circular, the green area to be fully competitive with the other source of materials. The second one is the second and the third one is to look into the energy part. The second one is the fuel part, and the biofuel, which has been implemented in Thailand for quite some time. And I think Thailand is one of the leading nations in the world that promote the biofuel. Other ASEAN countries as well. So how do we expand that in the context of transition into the electric vehicle? The third one is a community energy in terms of power. How do we allow or enable the community to produce their own energy from their bio-based materials? And that requires BEMC number 4, which is the smart grid and energy trading platform to facilitate the prosumer, the micro generator. BEMC 5 is more on the materials and chemicals, which will be the extended value creation from the fuel, which is the commodity from the bio. Next one is a summary of the projects. And what we are thinking is to set up the promotion zone for BCG area. Mainly would be in the northeast part of Thailand and maybe in some other places as well. But the carbon sink forestry project is something like a win-win when we can work together with the international and also local large corporates to do the forest and sell the carbon credit concept. The ethanol fuel cell, hydrogen fuel cell would be one option to look into the electric vehicle and at the same time not diminishing the biofuel market for our agricultural products. Community energy by concept of public-private participation would allow the community to get support in terms of funding, financing, and also technology from the governmental and the technology institutions. Number 4, the sandbox on smart grid and energy trading platform. This is already in the plan of the Ministry of Energy, would also be in the Northeast area and EEC. BMC5, which is the Biorefinery Innovation Center. This will be on top of the biorefinery pilot projects, which is being invested by the government in few areas and the private sector as well in Nakhon Sawan, in Khon Kaen and EEC area. These are the details of the 4 or the 5 initiatives, which I will not go into detail. But basically the first one, we would like to look into the collaboration with the local and the international large corporate that already doing the CSR project in planting trees, to look into the carbon sink forestry project together. And of course, the government will have to facilitate how to get the credit for this kind of forestry. The future transportation, energy transition, we would like to work together with some of the automobile manufacturer. And so far we received some good positive indication from our friends from Japan to look into the ethanol fuel cell, which will be using ethanol as a fuel into the fuel cell, and as also electrical vehicle, which is very friendly, environmental friendly. This is a community project we talked about. How do we get the fundings from the government to support the micro community energy projects, and also getting the technology support, sharing the best practice among the developer of this small community energy project. Number 4 is the pilot project in the smart microgrid and energy trading. This is very important because it serves as the central infrastructure that will allow the small producer to get into the grid, and also allow the small user to also get access and buy from the small producer. And this will enable the bioenergy to expand. The last project would be the Biorefinery Innovation Center, meaning that apart from just building the pilot plant, we need to form a center that would facilitate the application of this biorefinery into more value creation in terms of specialty and scale up from the ideas. And we held the summit on BCG together with a lot of colleagues from research facilities and also the private sector, government sectors. And most of the recommendations are pretty much in line with the 5 initiatives I talked about. So in ending, I'd like just to say that my objective, and I hope I achieved the first one, which is to share with you our thinking and possibly receive any recommendation. If it's not possible in this room, then I think through the website would be good. If you can provide some input for us in terms of these 5 initiatives and idea. Second, I would like to learn from the success cases in other parts of the world, and I'm sure that people watching from other area, maybe not now because it's a bit too early in Europe. But hopefully we will get some sharing of the successes, how to make it work, how to make bioeconomy work in your part of the world. Third, I would like to solicit the collaboration among the members in ASEAN nations as well as global members in driving this further, and particularly in the fourth objective, which is to get to understand a bit more on the technology and innovation that would allow the bioeconomy to work. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much.